That I've noticed with losing 140 pounds in a year. My relationship with food, I didn't really fully understand it. I just knew that I had a problem. I knew that I did a lot of obsessing about eating food, but at the same time, it was also a non-thought. What I mean by that is basically when I started paying attention to how I was eating like nonsensically. You're in front of the TV, you eat a lot more food than you would if you weren't in front of the TV. Either out of boredom, just because it seemed like a good idea, just for pleasure, really. It sounds sick when you think about it, I guess. I realized that after going through something like weight loss surgery, because you have to sort of be really careful about what you put in your body because you're gonna pay for it. Dumping syndrome, you get full really fast because your stomach is so small. It sort of makes you make better decisions. Do I still make poor decisions from time to time? Yes. Do I make as many poor decisions as I used to? Not even close. So another thing I've noticed is that people actually notice. I work in like corporate wireless industry. I've been there for 9 years, going on 10 years. The location I'm at, I've been at for 5 years. I see a lot of regulars all the time in my job. It's great seeing a lot of like familiar faces. I've had so many people come up to me like on a regular daily basis. Oh my god, I had to look at your name tag. Your Bonnie. Like, or they'll realize after like working with me for an hour, wait a minute, you're Bonnie. Oh my god. Almost like they just don't even recognize me anymore. I've even had people that I've worked with like, you know, not even 6 months ago come up to me after not seeing me for like, you know, 4 or 5 months, like, God, you lost a lot of weight. You just met me like not even 6 months ago. And I lost a lot of weight then. I haven't even lost that much really. When you really look at it, most of my weight has been lost in the first like initial 6 months. When you get to like a certain weight, I feel like once you get into like Wonderland, like once you get in like under 200, losing like 5-10 pounds, it's pretty obvious. I noticed in my face, I've lost, like my face has gotten more defined the more weight I've lost. It's interesting the changes that you notice. I had more people, I think that's been one of the biggest things. It's one of the biggest encouraging motivators is people noticing that you've lost weight. Definitely get it from loved ones and people around you. But keep in mind that they do see you a lot and you see yourself a lot. Sometimes it takes seeing like, you know, side-by-side stuff or like having that time between when you see them for them to really truly notice the transformation. I always even recommend you know, post your Transformation Tuesday photos or post your Throwback Thursday pictures or post your Flashback Friday pictures or Face to Face Fridays. They have all those different hashtags on Instagram. It helps because you sometimes, like, you gotta recognize your own progress. I've posted a lot using some of the same original photos. Honestly, I don't have a lot of photos from that time. I've looked through some people's photos when they were heavy and I'm like, how do you even have photos of yourself like this? I only actually, the photos I have from my before pictures were taken by my mother-in-law. Like, I didn't take those photos, never really took photos. Like, I mean, my Instagram was even really bare before I started getting more confident with how I looked. It's really taken me doing some digging to get the photos that I do have. For before pictures, you know, after pictures, I'm like, hey, you know. It is good to have that baseline though. I'm very grateful for the ones that I do have. Really have that many, but it's helpful to see where you come from. The next thing I would say too, that I've heard people say that have lost a lot of weight that I don't totally agree with. Some people get really offended sometimes and they're like, what was I not beautiful before? Was I not attractive before? It's almost hard to like word a compliment nicely. Actually, I have a funny story with that. Yeah. A few weeks ago, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it right now. It's just like, I'm at my job, right? So I helped this couple that I didn't even realize I'd helped before. The lady, it's this older Asian couple. The lady was like, I started working on her phone, right? She needs like a new SIM card or whatever. And I was like, oh, like, let me get that for you. I came back with it. She's like, oh, I just realized who you are. you lost so much weight. You were so fat before. Oh, so fat. I was just like what? Oh my gosh. I couldn't keep it together. I was like, you know, and she was like, congratulations. Oh, you're so skinny now. You're so skinny. It was awesome. Like, you're right, I was so fat before. Like, but when you think about it though, like, she was just trying to be nice. And you know what? I didn't get offended. I'm still not offended. And I agreed with her. I was like, I was really fat before. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, you know what? And yeah, I'm super skinny now. Thank you. It's such a bizarre experience. You know, it's just to add to that point. You can't get offended by what people have to say with that. They're just trying to pay you a compliment. So. Next point I would definitely say is, you know, you start to notice, you know, your clothes fitting you better. There's styles that you really like, that look really good on you that you used to never really consider before. I even noticed there's some styles that you used to wear because you were large. You were uncomfortable or insecure about certain like features of how it would make your body look, and now you can wear them. Legit wore like pleather pants to dinner last week on date night. I would have never worn those. I knew I looked good in them, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pair these with heels. We're out for the night. Like, I didn't care. Like, I knew I looked hot, and my husband was loving it, and it was fun. Kind of on my final part of my journey of, you know, sort of figuring out, you know, I guess sort of like the last little bits of like getting who I am down, like with like looks and stuff like that. Becoming more experimentative with like my hair and, you know, even just like with losing this like last bit of weight, dealing with like the extra skin from it, and you know, still having my curves, which is like of the utmost importance. Actually, that brings me to my next point. My boobs are still huge. Now, granted, instantly, people that know me are gonna be like, this bitch. Yes, I have really large breast implants, like really large. I had a lot of tissue to begin with before I got these. I have 2,050 cc's of saline into each. Not even kidding. I was on this like, you know, boob journey for a long time too, like large enough and really like insecure about it. One thing I didn't really think of was I was also extremely large myself. One thing that you can kind of like look at with that is the proportions. The proportions are huge. Proportion is really everything. Like a certain size of breasts or butt and put them on somebody that's large, they're gonna not like blend in, but they're gonna kind of go like with all the other curves that they have. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just talking about, you know, when somebody describes big boobs, normally it's a proportionate difference that they're referring to. So for that sake of that argument, that's what I'm referring to. I really haven't noticed like any natural tissue loss, which is amazing. And actually, my husband and I almost think my boobs have gotten bigger. I wonder though if it's because of the proportionate thing. They are more dramatic because of how tiny my waist is. And then, you know, I still have like big hips and booty, so it's awesome. So you can certainly keep your curves. So those are the things that I would say I've learned after losing 140 pounds. I'm going to be doing another update for my Surgiversary. Any points I forgot in this one, I'm probably going to put in that one. It's coming up in a few days. I'm really excited. I'm going to post like all my stats and all my before and after pictures in that one. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe, comment. Any questions you have with losing like a lot of weight, just post below. I really appreciate it. Thank you.